So you're not happy with what you did?
No, I'm not happy. It turned out great, just like I wanted it. Well, it's time to do our next upgrade on the TJ, which is the KC Pro6 series light bar. We're gonna take these the rough country pod, take them off. We're gonna install the KC light bar brackets and Pro6 light bar, which is only 7 light bar on this because for the orders I gotta make some spacers. But we're hoping to get it on for our trip. You never know. We always have bumps in the road sometimes, especially making the spacers, but I got an idea, so we'll try and see. So the first piece is the KC brand light bar brackets. These are for the TJ. They're originally for the 8-row Pro6 bar, but like I say, I gotta make some spacers to go in between here. I'm gonna take some roll bar tubing and make spacers for them. But they are nice quality. They got your spacer plate here to bring it off the windshield frame, so you got room to run wires behind it. And they come with a rubber to go behind it to protect your paint. Nice black hardware, washers and all, so all good quality stuff. I will not be using these bolts because I replaced all my windshield bracket bolts with stainless, and so as long as they come out good, I'll be using all stainless backs just so I don't have a mismatched bolt in the windshield frame. Yep. Ah! That's how you make a alignment pin, I guess you want to call it. So we'll see if this one works. Let's figure it out. She's a beaut, Clark.
Oh, yes, she is.
She's a beaut. I like that. I love too that they all come. I mean, and everybody talks about why KC cost. But I mean, just the quality. Even all this has all the wires. Is all in nice wire loom, heat shrink, good the tape stuff around them. All nice connections. Got a nice connector right here, and it's got a wiring harness too. But all this is adjustable. You can break all these loose and flex this, which we'll do. And it comes with a piece that goes in the middle for the windshield mount. I ain't gonna leave all the covers, plastic on the covers.
So you do here a lot of like rock lights and all kinds of light installation.
Yeah.
So I've saw you get really frustrated before with the quality.
I mean, I use we install a lot of cheaper stuff like rock lights just because some of the customers, that's all they want. I mean, we still try to use good quality products, but they're just cheaper. And I've got cheaper rock lights on mine. Now we will be changing them probably to KC, but I've had tuning rock lights on my Jeep for 4 years now. They've been on there 4 years since we built it. It's when they come out with the ones that are actually a solid color. And they've been great, no issues whatsoever. I've put a bunch of sets on customers. with no issues on them. Now, some of the other ones that customers have brought me, I've had some issues with the wiring. I didn't like the plug-ins, and you gotta make a big hole for the plug to go, where these, like I used, you drill up and it comes straight out the back, so you can kind of hide the wires better. But
I'll be interested to see the installation for KC rock lights.
yeah, and which looks pretty simple from what I've seen online. But these are actually made where you can hook to either side. So whichever side you want to run your power down, it's the same plug. So I guess we're gonna run it down that side. So this is just a blank cover. I guess I'm gonna look at the other, but I'm gonna snap it on that side, and I guess then you tie it back to wherever you want to tie it back to. And it's made the wire from either side. But this is what I'm gonna have to take a piece of pipe with a plate, weld a plate in it or a big washer in it, so I can bolt it on here, and then weld a stud out to set it in my bar since I'm missing a light. So I should be able to take a light, probably about half the light, whatever it is, but we're gonna try to hold it up. I'm gonna measure it. That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
So anyway, it comes with a harness with a fuse in it. For somebody that don't have a switch pod or something, we're just gonna use part of the harness because I have a switch pod with relays in it. So it comes with the harness, say with a fuse, comes with your relay. You can put a relay in line, all that. So then all you gotta do is run your power on. That goes to your battery with your fuse. Comes to your relay. And that's the ground. So all I'm gonna do is need this for the pigtail, and come down and wire right into my box. So since you can angle these, I'm not exactly sure. They only angle so much, which is good because it's not a hole that can, move. So if it comes loose, it can't just. So it's got holes here that you can move. I don't know how good you can see it, but now the center is laying flat on the thing, kind of, and the sides is up.
Yeah, I can see that.
By moving, changing holes here, I think I've got in my mind, I want to leave the front three, center three, straight, and I'm gonna change the holes on the outside so they kind of, the center three will be straight and the other ones will be angled. That's what I'm shooting for. We'll see how that works. It may not work with the brackets. So you can't. I was hoping you could go that much, but I guess if I changed them all, it would make them all
right
round. But you can see then these end ones, they're actually slotted, so you can. That way, this will be back straight.
You see, that's what you have to do. You have to use your mind.
So we're back at it this morning, making spacers. These pieces of thick wall tubing was actually the right length. So I found some nuts that had a flange on them, so they actually just drove into the end of the tubing, and I'm gonna weld around it and then grind it down flat. This other end, the bolt head went right in the piece of tubing, so I was able to drive it there and get it straight. I'm gonna weld around here, then grind it back down, and then I'm gonna put a washer because I needed a touch more space. So between this and this, when I weld this around it too, then I'll have my right length on both sides. And it should screw on, because this is a lock nut, it's not a nylon, so when I weld it, it's not gonna hurt it. It's a regular lock nut, so I can thread it on the end of the bar, and this end will set down in there, and we should be good to go.
Good deal.
Hopefully. We're gonna make one, the first one, and see how it works. See how it goes, and then go from there. Lincoln, you wide open this morning, girl. We'll let that cool off. Weld the other side and let that cool off, and then we'll go back and grind that down, put a washer on it. And this should be good, I hope. And that is, I hope. Pretty flat. That might hold itself, but it might wood with it. That's what I wanted. I had thought about, I don't think they make any longer bolts than that.
So you're not happy with what you did?
No, I'm not happy. It turned out great, just like I wanted it. But there's not enough. I know this is, I mean, it's a good bracket, but I don't think there's enough surface contact for what I want. So we're gonna have to go to a bigger piece of tubing to get exactly what I want it to look like. So and I thought about putting washers on each end, making a 3-bolt, put that in there and putting through, and then we can set it in there and put the nut on it. But these is not long enough, and I don't think they make any longer than that bolt. They may. But. So we're back to the drawing board. We're gonna try to cut these down a lathe before I can have a little bit of weld.
The lathe is my favorite.
Just a little bit smaller. So I'm trying to turn 4 washers down and make them the same width, and I want them smaller than this diameter here so I can weld the washer around it. Then I'll weld a bolt in one and I'll nut in the other one, and that'll be plenty big too. Do what I want to do. And have plenty of surface area. This just takes a little longer this way. Story of my life. Everything I do. Guess we wouldn't have it no other way, I guess.
Nope.
So change of plans. We got tubing, the DOM tubing, like I use for steering. Found some washers that are thick enough. I just had to put them all in the lathe on a bolt and turn them down. And now we're gonna attempt to weld the bolt in there, weld it in the tube. The other end we'll weld the nut on the back side, weld it in the tube, and try that route and see if that works.
Let's see the tube.
It'll have plenty of surface area then that I want, because it's the thick wall DOM like I use for steering, and it is pretty much like the perfect size to fit that. So I think that's gonna look better. But we've I had to turn these washers down, because once it's all pressed together, it's not going nowhere anyway, so it don't have to be a real thick washer. but I needed surface area out here, and the washer was the same size as the tubing. So put it on the lathe, turn it down. Now I can weld the bolt to it and weld the washer in it. I gotta cut the pieces first, but hopefully then that'll work. And we'll have plenty of surface area and all be bolted together, and we'll get all this done, hopefully. If I could find another end.
Approximately 10 hours later.
So after my first failed attempt at what I wanted to do, I decided to get some longer bolts. I found some 4-inch bolts I needed, and I cut some DOM tubing. I took some thicker, what they call a fender washer, and turned it on the lathe where I had some, when I laid it on here, I had room to weld around it. When I got them where I wanted them, I took another bolt and stuck all the way through it, tightened the nut down, centered them up where I wanted them so the holes were centered. Then I welded them on, ground them down where they're flat, and got my other bolts in here. So now this has got teeth on it, and this will slide on here, and it'll be a good flat, big surface for that to set on. Be a good flat, big surface to set in between my bracket. And then I'll have a washer and a lock nut on the outside and be just about perfect. And we'll see how it goes. If this don't work and something happens eventually, we'll change it, but I think that'll work. Now I just gotta paint them. Got one more grind down, paint them up, and put them on.
Yeah, that looks right.
So that wraps up the install of the KC Pro6 light bar. 7 lights. Put a little angle on it, as you can see. Showed how to make the spacers, everything tightened down good. It's got the support leg behind to go against the windshield so it don't push back going down the road, just to give it support for vibration and all. Brackets, like I said, they turned out good. They fit good. They're good thickness. I'm very pleased. We turned it on. It's bright, so we'll see what it does at night. We're about to go on a wheeling trip, which you'll see after this video, and we'll probably get to try it out, hopefully. But as far as that, I think we're pretty good with it. It's good to go. We're gonna get to try it out. We'll stick the covers on, see what it looks like all the way. So as always, appreciate the support. Like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch y'all later.